everybody, welcome to Avanico Technologies. So in the previous video, we were seeing about the Dunning Wizard. In today's video, we're going to see about the purchase module. So already the purchase module is actually in resemblance with the sales module, which will have like purchase quotation, purchase request, purchase order, GRPO, AP invoice, and finally the AP credit memo. But the two more important topics that we're going to see today is how to create bulk purchase quotation, and the second one, what happens when the same customer acts as vendor too. So let's get into the video. This is the OEC Computers Test Database. Similar to the sales process, the purchase process also has blanket agreements, say purchase quotation, purchase order, GRPO, invoice, and AP credit memo. So that is present under main menu under purchasing AP. So we would have seen the concepts of the sales. Similarly, the concepts of the purchase will be similar to the concept of the sales. So I'll tell you the distinguished features which were not present in the sales now. The first one is the purchase quotation generation wizard. So using this wizard, we'll be able to create quotations for, using this wizard, we'll be able to create purchase quotations in the bulk quantity. So I'm going to the next tab. So I'm creating a new parameter. So I'm giving it as PQ1 in the description. In the next, I'm going to select it based on the items or based on the purchase request. I'm going to give it based on the items. I'm giving next. So the required date is going to be today, and this purchase quotation will be valid for the next 3 days. So which means I'm putting March 1. So here I can select the items, or I can add the items from the item list here. So you can select the first item and then I can go to the next item. So likewise, I can use items here, or I can use the item groups or item properties. So these are the basic filters. So I'm giving OK. So you can see that all the items which I've selected has been right here. So now I'm going to the next option. So here you can see that should I group these data based on the business partners or by item? I'm just giving based on item or based on group business partner. It is my choice. So now I'm giving next. So you can see that there is, so I'm giving next, but here you need to select the vendor. If the particular item has preferred vendor in it, then the data will be automatically picked. If not, we need to choose the vendor here. So for the first 3 items, I'm choosing one vendor. And for the next 2 items, I'm choosing a different vendor. Remember, if the item has a preferred vendor in it, automatically the data will be fetched here. I'm giving next. So now there is going to be 2 different, this one based on the grouping by business partner. So here, if the error occurs here, should I skip to the next vendor, or should I stop execution? You can give the options here. So I'm going to give next. So it is saying that running this wizard will result in creation of multiple purchase quotation. Yes, that is okay. So you can see that one quotation has been created. For the next one, the tag code was wrong. You must have selected IGST. So that issue is a wrong thing. So here only one quotation has been created. So this is a concept of creating multiple purchase quotations using the wizard. So next the same process similar to next is the process similar to sales, like purchase blanket agreement. So it's a long-term agreement between your vendor and the company. So that is again classified into 2 options: general blanket agreement and specific blanket agreement. And next is the purchase request. So purchase request is otherwise known as purchase intent, where your department people request for an item and that can be converted to either to a quotation or an order. Purchase request, as you can see, it will not hold the vendor data here. It will just hold the requester or your user, your SAP B1 user data here. So that is the only difference between the purchase request and the other purchase marketing documents. So quotation is again similar to your sales quotation. So based on the which vendor is giving you for the least price, you can convert that particular purchase quotation into a purchase order. And there in the sales we saw delivery. Here in the purchase we are seeing the goods receipt PO, goods receipt against the purchase order. And then Similar to the AR down payment request, we have the AP down payment request. If you are going to pay the vendor ahead before raising the invoice, then we can use this AP down payment options, and then AP invoice, accounts payable invoice, and finally the AP credit note. So these are the common options present in your purchasing module. And there is one small thing that will be very useful for many companies. So there are companies which will have both. There are companies which will have a particular customer as the vendor as well. So particular company can act as both a customer as well as vendor for the company. In that case, SAP has an option called connected vendor or connected customer. So that we have to map it inside the business partner master data. So I'm opening the one of the business partners, one of the vendors. So here in the accounting tab, you can see that in the connected customer, I've connected this customer called MaxiTech. So using this option, say for example, I've raised a vendor invoice for this AP, accounts payable invoice for this AP vendor for 1 lakh rupees. And similarly, I have raised a sales invoice for this customer called MaxiTech for the same 1 lakh rupees means. But here both the MaxiTech and AP are the same company. So in that case, I don't need to pay the AP vendor for the AP invoice, and then I don't need to collect the incoming payment from the MaxiTech. Instead, what I can do is I can actually knock off the raised sales invoice and purchase invoice without making the payment, which means that it will be knocked off against each other, and there is no need of the making the payment for the incoming. There is no need of making incoming and outgoing payments. So this connected customer and connected vendor concept is applicable. It will be very useful in the 3 steps, either in your aging reports, customer liabilities, this will connected vendor and connected customer concept is useful in 3 steps. First, in your aging reports, the customer receivables aging and the vendor liabilities aging. So in that you have an option called so in that you have an option called in that you have an option called consider connected vendors. The second option is in the Dunning wizard. In the Dunning wizard, again you can use a connected customer connected vendor concept, and the third part is your internal reconciliation. So here you can see that in your internal reconciliation you can use the connected BP and multiple business partner. So when I just enable these both options in the manual, you can see that I'm just selecting this AP, but the moment when I select AP, automatically the MaxiTech customer will appear. So here you can, if you give reconcile, both this customer and the vendor, this one will be applicable. You can choose both and you can reconcile, which means you can avoid the concept of raising the incoming payments and outgoing payments for the same customer and vendor. So these are the topics present in the purchase concept. Do check our website for the other videos. Thank you.